A Chinese person captured footage of a high-speed train which started shaking violently after passing through Tianshui South Station. The individual who recorded the video expressed concern about whether the train could reach its destination safely. This incident is not isolated. Back in July this year, several people shared on social media their experiences with high-speed trains shaking during travel. The high-speed train in the video departed from Lanzhou heading to Xi'an and experienced severe shaking while passing through Baoji City in Shanxi province. Another instance involved a train traveling from Beijing to Shanghai, which also shook violently when passing through the Suzhou and Tai'an sections, terrifying passengers on board. These videos have even made their way overseas. A foreign person posted online advising against taking Chinese high-speed trains. They explained that after Germany stopped supplying parts to Chinese high-speed trains, Japan followed suit in March 2023. As a result, there are fewer parts available for replacements, and while some parts are made in China, the quality is poor. Experts predict that major accidents are inevitable for Chinese high-speed trains, as they have seen many videos of intense shaking and other incidents. A Baoluo website's news commentator Wang Duran stated that the issues seen in the videos are not surprising, as China's high-speed rail technology was stolen after making purchases from abroad. China initially relied on partnerships with foreign companies, mainly acquiring technology from Germany's Siemens, Japan's Shinkansen, and France's Alstom. By signing cooperation agreements, China gained access to core technologies, which is then reverse engineered and stole. Many experts point out that China did not fully comply with international intellectual property agreements and instead engaged in technology theft, copying, and reverse engineering. The most notable case involves China acquiring Shinkansen technology from Japan. After collaborating with Kawasaki Heavy Industries and other companies to obtain key Shinsanke technologies, China quickly began producing its own high-speed train models, which closely resemble Japan's. Japan has repeatedly expressed dissatisfaction, accusing China of violating the technology transfer agreement and using illegal methods to obtain technical details. Similarly, Germany Siemens accused China of stealing its high-speed train technology and using it for domestically developed trains, bypassing intellectual property agreements. Siemens stated that China's high-speed rail development model is borrow technology and then close the loop, meaning that after acquiring the technology through cooperation, China isolates production and research to create its own high-speed train brand. This systematic theft not only caused financial losses for international partners, but also heightened global concerns about China's technological expansion. Many countries and companies have since implemented stricter intellectual property protection measures to prevent further incidents of this kind. It's not just the act of theft that has drawn international condemnation. The quality of high-speed trains produced under stolen technology is also under scrutiny. In 2011, shortly after China's claim its high-speed rail technology had matured, Du Junxiao, the head of the Shanxi branch of People's Daily, published an article in China Economic Weekly titled "Retired Railway Engineer Refuses to Take High-Speed Rail, Citing Rush Development as a Safety Risk," directly questioning the safety of China's rapidly developing high-speed rail system. In the article, Du recounts a conversation with a friend from China Railways. When asked whether high-speed rail had any hidden risk, the friend cautiously replied, "We had an engineer who retired last year. When he left, he said, 'I will never take high-speed rail for the rest of my life.'" This friend's company specialized in railway construction, so if railway workers are unwilling to take high-speed trains, then there must be a significant underlying issue. Du describes how after the high-speed line from Xi'an to Zhengzhou opened, he was invited by Xi'an Railway Bureau to experience high-speed rail travel. He took a trip from Xi'an North to Luoyang Longmen Station, a total distance of 380 kilometers, with the fastest journey taking 1 hour and 15 minutes, and the longest is 1 hour and 58 minutes, much faster than the slow trains he is used to take. The journey, lasting a little over an hour, left a strong impression on Du. He wrote, "At the time, the high-speed train body is sleek and the carriages are beautiful. Compared to the slow trains I took in my younger days, the difference is like night and day." The high-speed train has had a speedy display board inside, clearly showing the current speed At one point, while passing through a specific area, the train speed reached over 350 kilometers per hour, fast enough to lift a Boeing 737 off the ground. The Chinese government boasted that its high-speed rail had achieved an average speed of 350 kilometers per hour, the fastest in the world. After traveling on the Zhenxi line for about 40 minutes, Du was given the rare opportunity to visit the cockpit. What happened next shocked him. At one section of the journey, the train slowed down and then sped up again, reaching around 250 kilometers per hour when a bird hit the cockpit windshield. There was a loud bang, leaving bloodstains and a tuft of feathers stuck on the glass, fluttering in the wind. The scene reminded Du of a psychic's book he had read in childhood, which stated that if a car traveling at 80 kilometers per hour collided with a thrown watermelon, the energy generated would be equivalent to detonating a grenade. This was not the fastest speed achieved by Chinese high-speed rail. In December 2010, a high-speed train set a world record during a test run on the Beijing-Shanghai line, reaching 486.1 kilometers per hour. Despite these technological advancements, another railway engineer friend of Du's later visited his home also firmly insisted he would never ride a high-speed train. This article sparked widespread attention from the Chinese public, with many raising concerns about the safety behind China's high speed. Professor Sun Zhang from Tongjing University Railway and Urban Rail Transit Research Institute explained that there is a safety margin between a train's experimental top speed and its operational top speed. For instance, France's TGV set a record of 574.8 kilometers per hour in April 2007, but in normal operations it runs at a maximum of 320 to 350 kilometers per hour. Sun also mentioned that there is another metric, the average to top speed ratio, called the speed balance ratio, which reflects the efficiency of a rail system. China's high-speed rail lines lag behind their international counterparts in terms of speed balance ratio. For example, the Shanghai-Nanjing intercity high-speed rail runs at a top speed of 350 kilometers per hour, completing the journey in 75 minutes with an average speed of 240.8 kilometers per hour, giving it a speed balance ratio of 0.69. By comparison, Japan's high-speed rail has a ratio of 0.81 and France's TGV has a ratio of 0.77, meaning China's efficiency in this area is lower. Sun believes that the higher the speed balance ratio, the more efficient the system. He stated that passengers care more about average speed than top speed. For example, while Japan's top speed may not surpass China's, its average speed is higher, leading to better efficiency and overall usage of the high-speed rail network. He also pointed out that excessive focus on speed can lead to a host of problems. The balance between speed, safety, and economic feasibility is the most crucial issue that China's high-speed rail system needs to address. Sun cited Japan's Shinkansen as an example, which has operated for 46 years without a single accident, a testament to achieving the right balance. While the strategy of leapfrogging in development may work at a high level, it is essential to follow scientific principles and proceed step by step in practice. However, the Chinese government seems obsessed with pushing speed boundaries. In China, there are two types of high-speed rail, regular trains and high-speed trains, both of which are significantly faster than the older green trains. The regular high-speed trains typically operate at speed above 200 kilometers per hour, while the newest models reach speeds of 350 kilometers per hour or more. China's latest magnetic levitation trains can reach speeds of even 600 kilometers per hour. These impressive figures are a point of pride for the Chinese government. In 2017, Chinese media widely covered an American company Hyperloop 1-second test in the Nevada desert, which reached a speed of 192 miles per hour, which is 310 kilometers per hour. However, the intention wasn't to praise American technology, but to boast that China's high-speed rail, after recent upgrades, has surpassed it in speed. Despite previous public statements, by the American company that with a longer test track, the maximum speed could reach 250 miles per hour, which is 402 kilometers per hour, and that the future operational maximum speed might hit 500 miles per hour, that is 805 kilometers per hour. These figures seems less noteworthy to the Chinese government than the fact that the Fuxing train has completed tests and scientific evaluations at a speed of 350 kilometers per hour, which is why they prefer to emphasize as part of their achievements. Chinese political commentator Yan Dan believes that the Chinese government's boasting about high-speed rail often includes a phrase after speeding up, giving the impression of cautiousness. However, this caution is not rooted in concerns about the safety of applying advanced technology to real life. On the contrary, it stems from the past high-speed rail accident, which caused significant casualties and public outrage, forcing the government to dial back its boastfulness. In 2015, when China Railway Corporation discussed the speed of 350 kilometers per hour, they used the term restoration instead of acceleration. This is because 350 kilometers per hour was originally designed speed for Beijing, Shanghai, and other major high-speed rail lines. However, after the infamous Wenzhou high-speed rail collision in 2011, which shocked the world, the Ministry of Railways immediately announced a reduction in the operating speed of high-speed trains, lowering it from 350 to 300 kilometers per hour. The accident occurred on the evening of July 23, 2011 at 8:30 p.m. on the Ojiang Bridge in Wenzhou, Zhejiang Province. The D301 train from Beijing South to Fuzhou collided with the D3115 train traveling from Hangzhou to Fuzhou South. After the D301 train's 4 carriages ran over the rear 16th carriage of the D3115 train, they fell off the bridge, resulting in 40 deaths and 172 injuries. The collision halted train services for 32 hours and 35 minutes, causing direct economic losses of over 193 million yuan. The main cause of the accident were severe design flaws in the train control center equipment, inadequate oversight, and failures in emergency responses after a lightning strike caused system malfunctions. So, did reducing the speed by 50 kilometers per hour ensure the safe operation of high-speed trains? Yan Dan argues that the issue had little to do with speed. The Wenzhou crash was clearly linked to the quality of Chinese high-speed trains. More importantly, the publicly disclosed quality issues made people feel that those responsible for China's high-speed rail were carelessly negligent, constantly making low-level mistakes. It is hard to accept that the catastrophic Wenzhou accident was caused by a signal equipment design flaw that displayed the red light as green light after a malfunction. How can a country that can't even manage its signal system boast about a speed of 350 kilometers per hour, a speed that could result in deadly accidents if something goes wrong? In a country where both officials and workers seem to collectively disregard public safety, similar accidents are likely to continue. Who would take pride in speed built on such a significant vulnerabilities? Probably only the Chinese government can manage to do so. For ordinary people who actually take high-speed trains, safety is obviously more important than speed. Before China continues boasting about its high-speed trains, it needs to provide patents and credible quality assurance to ensure that there are no safety hazards behind these impressive speeds. Unfortunately, the Chinese government is unlikely to do so because the core technology, along with the patents ensuring safety and quality, were not developed by China. If the truth were revealed, the government could no longer tout its greatness, glory, and correctness, nor could it profit from these high-speed rail projects. Reports from Chinese media have highlighted that China's high-speed rail even relies on small imported components such as the non-loosening nuts produced by Hard Lock Industrial Companies, a small Japanese company with just 45 employees. As high-speed train run, the constant vibrations caused by contact between the train and tracks can loosen regular screws. To prevent this, the screws and nuts need to be perfectly locked in place and never loosen. Only one company in the world, Japan's Hard Lock Industrial Company, is capable of producing such non-loosening nuts. Even so, Japan has not globally publicized its unique patent. Some media have revealed that the inventor of the non-loosening nut faced many obstacles and complaints during its development and promotion, investing considerable time and money into research. Meanwhile, China's hastily developed anti-loosening nuts like the tongue nut and self-locking nut fail to provide the most critical safety guarantees. Without Japan's non-loosening nuts, the convenience provided by high-speed rail would be nothing more than empty promises. This raises the question, is the frequent shaking of Chinese high-speed trains due to the fact that Japan has stopped supplying anti-loosening nuts, forcing the railway department to use domestically produced Chinese versions? In addition to patent-related issues, Chinese high-speed rail faces other manufacturing and operational challenges. The first issue is ground subsidence. Zhou Yiming, former deputy chief engineer of the Ministry of Railways, criticized former railway minister Liu Zhijun for pursuing speed goals without considering safety factors and even fabricating data. He said that the safety of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed rail still needs to be evaluated. He revealed that the Beijing-Shenyang CHR5 high-speed line frequently stopped due to mid-journey malfunctions, and just 2 years after construction, the Shitai line from Taiyuan to Shijiazhuang experienced ground subsidence of up to 40 centimeters. The Beijing-Tianjin intercity high-speed rail has also shown signs of subsidence. Hong Kong Polytechnic University's civil engineering professor Ying Jianhua, who participated in testing the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed rail, confirmed to the media that the Beijing-Tianjin line had indeed experienced subsidence. He believes that given the longer distance of the Beijing-Shanghai line, it's difficult to ensure that similar issues won't arise. He said, in some sections between Beijing and Tianjin, water is pumped from drinking or industrial use, causing the water table to drop and the bridge piers to sink. We had identified this issue through many satellite images and on-site tests, so subsidence is indeed a hidden danger. Another concern is that some concrete viaducts in China were not treated with expensive chemical hardeners, which could lead to premature wear, limiting the train's top speeds. Additionally, China has extended its high-speed rail network to the earthquakes-prone western regions. In the event of an earthquake, the rail system would be at risk, and it could damage tracks and disrupt signal systems. The issue of substandard construction caused by corruption in China's government is another major concern affecting high-speed rail quality. In 2023, safety risks were exposed in Shandong's Lairong high-speed rail due to its substandard materials. In mid-July 2023, Henan Sanjie Industrial Co. Limited, a subcontractor of the third section of the Shandong Lairong high-speed rail project, filed a formal complaint accusing China Construction 8th Engineering Division of cutting corners. The subcontractor reported that some foundation piles were not built to the required length, posing significant safety risk. Journalists, with the help of professionals, reviewed relevant maps and calculated the actual amount of concrete used in the project. Their findings largely confirmed the allegations of substandard construction. Other subcontractors in the same section of the project also reported similar issues with the foundation piles. This raises a question, could there be similar problems in high-speed rail construction across the country? The answer is likely yes. After tallying these issues, it becomes clear that the flaws in China's high-speed rail systems are numerous. These hidden dangers could emerge at any moment and threaten people's lives. As mentioned earlier, experts warning that China's high-speed rail is bound to face serious accidents and are likely not just predictions but highly probable events. When these high-speed trains are in operation, it will truly be a matter of life and death.